Sawa sawa, nimekubali. So we have that information: normal usage, maximum usage, minimum usage, lead time, economic order quantity, previously calculated. Number one, you have to prepare the reorder level. So reorder level, tunafanya haraka haraka. Nipe na kwama. So reorder level, this one is working. Reorder level. So what's the formula for reorder level? So reorder level is equals to maximum consumption. So the formula is equals to maximum consumption. So maximum consumption times maximum reorder. Maximum reorder level. So reorder period, not level. Reorder period. Remember when you talk about the order level refer to the level in which the stock alive, another order must be placed. When we talk about the order level, it is that level when we reach, we need to make an order. So according to the question, what is our reorder level? So what's our maximum consumption of the question? Our maximum consumption. Our maximum consumption of the question is, where is it? Yeah. So for maximum consumption is 14. Is maximum usage 1400 units. This one is 1,400. We multiply by the maximum reorder period, which is the maximum reorder period. So the question is, so ready time. That one is the ready time. So the maximum ready time is 30. We multiply by 30. How much is that? So 1400 times 30. Nika inaonekana. So 1400 times 30 is 42,000 units. 42,000 units. That is part A of that question. Part B, we were supposed to prepare maximum stock level. Maximum stock level. And how do we find this one? Mbona penye yangu inakataa kuandika? Dogo tu niangalie shida ni nini. So I hope sasa itaandika. So maximum stock level. So maximum stock level. So this is the formula. So maximum stock level is equals to the reorder level. Hii tulipata hapa juu. We add economic order quantity, then we less minimum consumption. So minimum consumption times minimum reorder level. Minimum reorder period. Minimum reorder period. Let us see. What's our reorder? Reorder level to connect pale juu 42,000 units plus economic order quantity kwa sababu alikuwa ametupatia kama ngapi? So if you go to the question, so economic order quantity is 50,000. 50,000. Then you're supposed to get the minimum consumption. So minimum usage is 5,000 times minimum, not 5, it is 500, not 5,000. 500. Whatever the minimum reorder level. So now, this one is ready time. So ready time, the minimum is 25. So from that one, we can get our maximum reorder level. So from that one, we can get our maximum reorder level. So itakuwa ngapi? Let us do it. So in the 42,000 plus 50,000 minus 500 times 25. This is 79,500 units. Then number C, minimum stock level. Minimum stock level. So how do we get the minimum stock level? So minimum stock level is equal to normal usage. So it is equal to reorder level. So reorder level ni ya kwanza. Reorder level minus normal usage. Normal usage. Ama consumption. So but it is normal consumption. But usage again is the same. Normal consumption times normal reorder. So normal reorder period. Normal reorder period. So itakuwa ngapi? So reorder level ni 42,000 minus normal consumption. So from the question, say normal consumption is 1,100 units. We multiply with the normal ready time. So we multiply with the normal ready time. What is our normal ready time? It is the average. Juu hatuna. So zingine atakupatia. Kama hajakupatia, you find the average. So the average itakuwa ngapi? Itakuwa hivi. So the average itakuwa ni 25 plus 30 divided by 2. Ukishafanya hivyo, then you can get the normal. So 42,000 minus 1,100 times 25. So to some of it, 25 plus 30 divided by 2 times 1,100. Then 42,000 minus answer. This one is 11,750 units. Now, this one is the minimum units that the person should hold. Below these units, it is under stocking. And then this one is the maximum amount of stock that this person should hold. If you hold more than this one, then it's overstocking. And then this one, reorder level. So if your units reach 42,000, you need to make another order. So if your units reach 42,000, so kama uko order 79, utumie hadi ifike 42, there is that need to make an order because you need to occupy your capacity. But it is you to decide. But ukitumia ifike hadi 11,750, then ukitumia anything below this one, but your units lie below 11,750, then you are understocked. Ukiwa na more than 79,500, you are overstocked. Any within this point is the most recommended amount to order when the amount is below 11,750. That one is question number 2B. Let us go do 3B. Remember, I think that is all. Average stock level. Number C. Average stock level is equals to maximum stock level plus minimum stock level divided by 2. So maximum stock level plus minimum stock level divided by 2. Hiyo tunasema ni ngapi? 79,500 plus 11,750 divided by 2. Hiyo itakuwa ngapi? 79,500 plus 11,750 divided by 2. 45,625 units. 45,625. That one is material costing. And the same sitting, question number 3B. Let us do it. Question number 3B. Or come, your 3B. Can you do number 3B? Number 3B naongelea. The following information is provided in relation to Baridi Ltd. The annual demand of each product, brand D, is 30,000 units. The ordering cost per order is 2,500. Ordering cost is expected to be the percentage of purchase price at 20. Then you have the ranges. Advise the company on the quantity to purchase. Can you do that one?
Let's do it.
So we do it. Sawa. Sawa, let us do it. So allow me to do away with this one. I hope umeandika. So allow me to do away with this one. Now, question number 3B. So let me give you some notes on that. Just something. So this is where we have. So let's call it the issue of, let's call it bulk purchases at a given. So at a given range. Now, kuna this some bullets you need to know. That is very helpful. Number 1, if E or Q is within the range, if E or Q is within the range, if E or Q is within the range, we use it to calculate total cost. We use it to calculate total cost. That was number 1. Number 2, if E or Q is above the range, we ignore it. We ignore it in calculating total cost. In calculating total cost. Tumesha unaandika kwa sababu tutatumia hii. Then if E or Q is below the range, we use the lowest range. To calculate total cost. Total cost. Now, our range is between let us start with the first range. Our first range is between 1 to 3,000 at a price which is 21. At 3,001 to 5,000 at a price which is 19. Then 5,000 to 7,000 at a price which is 17. Then you have 7,001 up to 9,000, the price which is 15.5. Then 9,001 to 10,000, 113. So wakatuambia pale juu annual demand is 30,000. Ordering cost 2,500 per order. Then holding cost 20% of purchase price. So inakuanga hivyo kama hujapatiwa. So we are supposed to advise on which level of the range that this person should pick. So itakuwaje? So rather than the first one, between 1,000 to 3,000. So the first thing you do, we calculate the EOQ. So EOQ tunajua formula ni, sasa tuiweke hapa. EOQ formula ni 2 DCO over CH. So ni 2 times annual demand 30,000 times our ordering cost 2,500 over 20% of our purchase price. So our purchase price ndio hapa 21. So for this order number 1, between 1,000 to 3,000 to 21. To find the EOQ. To find EOQ. So let's calculate it. So nangoja your answer. So 2, we are changing 20%, 0.2 and 21. Here hapa ni 4.2. 4.2. So what you're going to do times 30,000 times 2,500 divided by 4.2, then square root. So mimi napata 5,976 units. Now tunajiuliza, so tunafaa kujiuliza hapa, where does it range? So tulisema if EOQ is within the range, we use it to calculate the cost. Now, is it within the range? Our range is between 1,000 and 3,000. It is not within the range. Equal above. Let us see. If the EOQ is above the range, we ignore it to calculate the cost. Now, in this case, our economic order quantity need 5,976. But we can order up to 3,000. So it is already above what we can order. So we ignore. So ignore range 1. So ignore range 1. So range 1 we ignore. So kama ni advice asichukue range 1 because already our economic order quantity wanatuambia ni 5,000. But what we can order, we can order up to a maximum of 3,000. So we cannot order above above this point. So we ignore. So we can only order anything within the range. So that one we ignore. When I appear 3,000 to 5,000. Let us find the EOQ. Let us find the EOQ. 22 times 30,000 times 2,500 over 20% of. Now our purchase price for the next part is 19. So find the EOQ. So 22 times. So because I change 0.2 times 19. This one is 3 point. Here, but here 3.8. So the quantity 2 times 30,000 times 2500 divided by 3.8. Then find the square root. This one is 6,282. 83, that's round off units. Now, it is within which range? It is within which range? It is within, it is above still. So 3,000 to 5,000, it's still above our capacity. Now we ignore range 2. So we ignore range 2. So at the upper point we ignore. Next, 5,000 to 7,000. 5,000 to 7,000. We find the EOQ. EOQ, which is 2 times 30,000 times 2,500 over 20% of. So upper price yetu ni ngapi? 17. Wewe itakuwa ngapi? Aya, let us see. So 20% wale ni ya chini times 17. Ni atupatia 3.4. So itakuwa ni 2 times 30,000 times 2,500 divided by 3.4. Then square root. So mwisho una confirm calculator yangu inanisumbua. That one is 6,642 units. Now this one, it is within the range. Now what do we say? So 6,642 is within 5,000 and 7,000. Iko mahali hapo ndani. Now if your Q is within the range, we use it to calculate the total cost. So how do we get the total cost? Total cost is equals to D annual demand. Let me call it annual demand times purchase price plus Q over 2 CH plus D over Q CO. D annual demand over Q CH. Kama nikimetoka kwa laini. Oh, bado niko. Tabidi nimesongesha kidogo hivyo. Ndio tukure space yetu pale chini vizuri. Bila stress. Hapo. So kitu ya maana unajua venye tumekuwa tukienda. Sasa in case ndoke kwa laini utaniambia. Now, so what's our annual demand? Our annual demand is 30,000. purchase price at that level between 5,000 to 7,000. 5,000 to 7,000 is 17. Is 17. Pale juu angalia hapo juu kwa range yetu. Q. So tumesema if the EOQ is within the range, we use it as EOQ to calculate the total cost. So this one becomes our EOQ. So that one becomes our EOQ, our Q in short. So this one becomes our Q, which is 642 over 2 times CH. CH one ngapi? 3.4. So 20% of 17. 3.4 plus we are supposed to add 30,000. So 30,000 over Q, which is 66.42 times. Now we times with the CO. Our CO ni ngapi? 2,500. So that one is pata hiyo. Tutakuwa tumepata. Au inaonekana poa. Hopefully. So 30,000 times 17. Hii inasema ni 510,000. 510,000 66.42 divided by 2 times 3.4. This one is 11,292. And then again is 30,000 divided by 66.42 times 2,500. 11,292. Add them together. 510,000 plus 11,292 plus 11,292. So we have 532. So Kenya shillings. 532. 532. Hii calculator yangu. I think 584. Sionekani mzuri. Inanisumbua. 584. I think that one is the correct. So that one is the cost. For which range? For between 5,000 to 7,000. Now to the next range. Between 7,000 tutaifanyia hapa. Between 7,000 to 9,000. So the first thing we do, we find the EOQ. Let's find the EOQ. So our EOQ, tutaifanyia hapa ni 2 times our D. Our D is 30,000, is common. Times 2,500. Then we divide it with 20% off. So between 7,000 and 9,000 the 15.5. They hapa. Purchase price ni 15.5. So inakuja ngapi? So 20% times 15.5, which is 3.1. Let us see our Q. So itakuwa ni 2 times 30,000 times 2,500 divided by 3.1. Then square root of the answer. Mimi napata 6,956 units. Now, is it within the range? Yes, it is within the range. Now, if EOQ is within the range, we use it to calculate the total cost. So we use this one to calculate total cost. So we can say total cost is equal to Q. No, it is equal to annual demand multiplied with purchase price, which is 15.5. Then we add holding cost, which is 69.56 divided by 2 You multiply it with holding cost, which is 3.1. Then what ya mwisho, ordering cost, annual demand, 30,000 over 69.56 times 2,500 times 2,500. Nimetoka kwa laini kidogo. Hapo so inakuwa ngapi hiyo? So tuanze na kwanza 30,000 times 15.5. Hii wanasema ni 465,000. 465,000 69.56 divided by 2 times 3.1 10 782. Then ya mwisho 30,000 divided by 66 69.56 I mean times 2,500 10 782 10 782. So you add them together, out of your total cost. So 465,000 plus 10 782, then plus 10 782, 486 564. So this is the total cost if we go with that one. Then tumalizia ya mwisho between 9,000 and 1 to 10,000. So let us find the Q. Our Q itakuwa ni 2 times 30,000 times 2,500 over 20%. So what's our price here? Ni 13 bob. 13 bob. And then you find the square root. So 0.2 times 13. This one is around 2.6. So let's find the EOQ. 2 times 30,000 times 2,500 divided by 2.6. Then square root. This one is 79. Then is 79. 75 I mean. 75 95 0.54 0.54. Let us find the total cost. Our total cost will be equal to 30,000 times our price ni ngapi? 13 bob plus Q 75.95 over 2 times 2.6 plus 30,000 over 75.95 times. So let's round off to a full figure. Equals 79.56. 79.56. So it's number round off. Equals 79.56. Then multiply by what? CO 2,500. Then we get our cost. So 30,000 times 13, which is 390,000. Then you have 75.96 divided by 2 times 2.6, which is 98.75. I think that the other one is 98.75 also. So you shall confirm. I think it's 98. Yes? Sasa unachukua the 90,000 plus 9875 plus 9875. This one is 449 750. 49 750. Now you are supposed to give advice. You are supposed to give advice. So alikuwa anasemaje? Let us see the question. Alikuwa anasema advice on the quantity to order. So we should advise with the one with the minimum cost. So one between 1 to 3,000 we ignore. 3,000 to 5,000 we ignore. This one between 5,000 to 7,000 we want the cost in 500,000. We get next cost in 486. Then I'm in 489. Which one has the minimum total cost? So advice. You should purchase between 9,000 units to 10,000 units because it has the minimum cost. It has the minimum cost. So you should purchase between 9,000 to 10,000 because it has the minimum cost. That one is fine. So you should purchase between 9,000 units to 10,000 units because it has the minimum cost of purchase. So it has the minimum cost of purchase. So we are there to advise in the most favorable cost. So the last part will be the most favorable. So the same setting was set December 2021 1C. Same setting, December 2021, which number 1C. Duka inaonekana hapo. Bani niandikia hapa. December 2021, which number 1C. The same setting was tested December 2021, which number 1C. Now that one, iko na hii part. Ngoja tuone. Kwa hii swali ya mwisho tumefanya vibaya. Hii part ya mwisho. Poleni. Yeah, between 9,000 to 10,000. So read this statement. If EOQ is below the range. Now what's our range here? Look at what's our EOQ. Is 7,596. Now it is below our range. Our range is between 9,000 to 10,000. But we need to order something within 9,000 to 10,000. But this one is below. Now, if EOQ is below the range, we use the lowest range to calculate the total cost as the EOQ. As the EOQ. So we use the lowest range as, let me paraphrase this statement. So if EOQ is below the range, we use the lowest range as EOQ to calculate total cost. Now, kwa swali yetu between 9,000 to 10,000. Mutua, what's our lowest range? Between 9,001 to 10,000.
9,001.
Hiyo ndio sasa tunatumia kama EOQ. So this one tunatumia hii 95 because it's below our range. So hapa tunaweka 9,001. Na hapa pia unaweka 9,001. So tumetumia those 3 points. I think those 3 points imetumika. So tutavuta hii and see. So 9,001 divided by 2 times 2.6. 11,701. The 11 701. I think the other one itakuwa stream 11701. I think you can confirm. So 30,000 divided by 9,001 times 2,500. Right? 30,000 divided by 9,001 times 2,500. Napata 83, 32. 83, 32. Turudi ingine 9001 divided by 2 times 2.6. Sawa. We add them. I think here itakuwa the same of one part. So the 90 plus 11,701 plus 83, 32. So that will go to 14,000. 14,033. No, but kama ungepata hii iko above, tuna ignore. So tumeona vitu tatu. So yeah, the first one, tulipata the EOQ is above the range, tuka ignore. The second part, tulipata also EOQ is above the range, tuka ignore. The third part, tulipata iko within the range. So tukatumia EOQ as you can tulipata to calculate the total cost. This one also tulipata our EOQ is within the range, iko between 7,000 and 9,000. So tukaitumia hiyo pia to calculate our cost. The last one tulipata iko below our range. So kama iko below our range, what do? We use the lowest range, which is 9,001, as our EOQ, because that one is the most economical to order in that case. So 703, which one is the minimum cost? Still the last one is the minimum. So advice, you should purchase between 9,001 to 10,000 because it has the minimum cost. So I think the same question was tested in December 2021. In December 2021 query. Is it December 2021? You also have December 2022. I think in 2022. I think December 2022 question number 1C. December 2022 question number 1C. I think it is December 2022. Question number 1C. Kama sijakosea. Sawa. No, I want us to do a last thing. Secondary. So under material costing, we have primary allocation, which was the overhead analysis sheet. I want us today to do the secondary. Tutaweza kufanya maswali kama swali tu moja yenye iko na kila kitu. So, what is the secondary apportionment? So the previous class we did primary. So do you remember about the overhead analysis sheet? So I hope you remember about the overhead analysis sheet. So I want us to talk about let us talk about secondary. So allow me to wrap this one. So let us press secondary. Allocation. Secondary. Allocation. Let me I think hapo inaonekana. Yes, secondary allocation. Now we have various methods. So do we use this question for let me show you the question that we shall use. Tunaweza fanya yote. Nataka tufanye all the allocation. Nilikuwa nimeona wapi hiyo swali. It's a good question. Yes. Hii nimekutana nayo. May 2021. May 2021. Question number May 2021. Nimepotea. Number 3B. Number 3B. May 2021. Question number 3B. So Bix Ltd, they apportion the cost in a card into service, cost center, namely material handling and inspection, and at the reproduction, that is machining, finishing, and assembly. Now remember, the one for all these costs, what is the data from the overhead analysis sheet. We remember our analysis sheet when ilikuwa inakaa, tulikuwa tunasema we have our overhead analysis sheet. Mnaikumbuka? Tulikuwa na details, basis of apportionment. Then tulikuwa na I think units, amount, cost per unit. Tulikuwa na mingi. And then hapa tulikuwa na departments. So kwa hii kwa swali yetu tuko na material, tuko na fishing, tuko na assembly, tuko na material handling na inspection. So washatupatia total overhead cost. Nilikuwa na calculate chini hapo. Total cost washatupatia, nilikuwa na calculate. Inakaa hivyo. Wameshatupatia hizo figures. So hakuna haja calculate overhead. So wametupatia hizo figure hapa chini. Tulikuwa tumepata ile wakati 400, 200, 100, 100 na 50. So wakatufanya overhead sheet, niliwaambia once we calculate the total cost, we are supposed to transfer the cost of the service to production. Na hapa tumetuambia you have two service, material handling and so these two costs 150, that one is for service. But tulisema service department are not required to incur any cost, and therefore we need to do what? To transfer them to production department. On which basis? On a particular basis. So let us see those basis. Number one, let us transfer this cost. So hadi hapa mnajua kufika kama mlikuwa na information. So now tutoke sasa hapa tupeleke kwa from service production. So let's start with the first method, simultaneous equation method. So tuanze the first one. The first method inaitwa simultaneous equation method. Another name, algebraic method. Algebraic method. So this is the formula. Let me give you the formula. Imepotea kidogo tu. So the formula it is here. So this is the formula. Tunasema x is equals to overhead from direct allocation from direct overhead from direct allocation plus share of y plus share of y. This is called equation 1. Then y overhead from direct allocation plus share of x. Sasa inakuwaje? Ndio iko sawa. Let's go to our question. Sasa hiyo swali itabidi tumeiandika somewhere hapa ndio tusaidie. So tuko na material. Itabidi tumeandika somewhere hapa kadogo tu. Just ka illustration ndio tusaidie. Kama nifanyie hapa ni hapa. Sio kama inaonekana. Let me see. Iko sawa. So tuko na machining. So machining wacha niite MSc. So machining 400, finishing wacha niite fin 200, assembly niite 100, material handling niite MH, alafu inspection niite 50. We are supposed to allocate the two. Now let us call MH X na inspection Y ndio ikuwe rahisi. Hii tumesema ni 100 na ni 50. So MH tuseme ni X na inspection tuite Y. Alafu we have another thing here. I'm interested with this part sana. Tuko na nitaiwekea wapi? Acha niwekee hapa. So we have machining. We have finishing, assembly, material handling na inspection. So in case kama kuna kitu uone, so we have material handling na inspection. So hizi mbili ni service. We are supposed to transfer and then at percentage. Remember that percentage 30%, 20%, 25%, 25%, 30%, 35%, 45%. Hapa hakuna, hizo ni 5%. Then hapa hakuna, hapa ni 10%. Ile open inaonekana sasa. Now, let me show you how to do this part. So the first thing you need to come up with the equation. So this equation nataka niweke hapa. So swali yetu ndio hiyo. Nimeiweka hapo. So that is the first method. Like in the next 30 minutes, tuko tumemaliza all the methods. So we are interested with this part at the moment. Material handling and inspection. Now let's start with the first equation. X ni ngapi? Our x. So tutasema x. Ama tuseme tutasemaje hiyo? Let me think. I want to come up with that equation from that formula. So tukisema x ni ngapi? Direct allocation. Yes, x is equals to, so override from the direct allocation. So x, tumesema x ni material handling. What is the direct allocation? Our direct allocation is 100. Remember this one is in million. Kumbuka iko in million. So mh ndio x. The direct allocation is 100 plus share of y. Unateremka hapa. Y ni na is. Unakuja kwa is ndio hii. Unakuja baka kwa hii ya mwisho hii part. I'm telling this part hapa. Hii part ya mwisho. So is unakuja kwa is. Then unaangalia direct allocation of y. Itakuwa ngapi? Itakuwa unakuja, so ukuja kwa hii itakuwa ngapi? Is it 5% or 10%? So hapo pia ndio tunafaa kujiuliza. What will be the direct allocation, the share of y? Itakuwa, let me see. Hata nione nifikirie. So I will take the right. Here. So hiyo kile unafanya hata usiangalie hapa. Just take a look here. The share of y ni hii. From, so is ndio our y. Na hii ni x. The share of is from this time part is 0.1 y. In that case 0.1 y. Kuja next the y, the direct allocation ni 50 plus unakuja hapa, what's our x? Share of x 5%, which is 0.05 x. So unakuja tunaangalia hapa juu, this one is x, this one is y. So tunateremka chini, share of x ni hii 0.05, share of y 10%, which is 0.1. So kisha kuja na hiyo question mbili, find the value of x and y. Find the value of x and y. So tunaweza equate. So hadi hapo tuko sawa? Nick, when you formulate that equation?
Ko sawa.
So let's find the value of x. So tunaweza tumia equation, this one is equation 1 and this one is 2. Tunaweza sema y is equals to 50 plus 0.05. Now tuweke x. Our x is 100 plus 0.1 y. So what will be our figure? Itakuwa ni 50. Y is equals to, so 0.05 times 100, hii ni 5, and then 0.05 times 0.1, this one is around 0.005 y. So hii kuja huko, hii itabidi inakaaje? Inakaa hivyo. Tuseme y minus 0.005 is equals to 55. So 50 plus 5 is 55. So 1 minus 0.005, that is 0.995 y is equals to 50. So what will be our y? So 55 divided by answer. So mimi napata 55. So mimi in full figure. Remember it is in million. Now let's find the x. No, to make question 1, x is equals to 100 plus 0.1 y. What will be our x? So the 100 plus 0.1, 55. Inakuwa 105.55. Na tukishafanya hiyo, now we can allocate. We allocate where? Mark, fin, and assembly. We allocate it to mark, fin, and assembly. Sawa. So that one we do direct. So that one will be our direct allocation. So let's do it. Sijui itaonekania wapi. Nataka nione kama kuna space. Wacha nifanyie working hapa. And then the final answer itakuwa hapa. So let's do working. Now we need to do this one. We have a mark. So we have mark, fin, and assembly. Tuanze na overhead. Already tulikuwa nayo overhead. So acha tuite hivi. Acha tufanye hivi. Ndio swali ikuwe rahisi. Huyu jamaa alikuwa anaitwa nani? Anyway, sasa utaweka juu yake. So let's do details. Overhead allocated. So already allocated. So tuko na mark. Already allocated ilikuwa gani? Hii hatukuguza 400. Ile hatukuguza. Hii ilikuwa already allocated, ilikuwa the production. 200 for finishing 200. Alafu tumalizie assembly 100. This is how you allocate. Now, then so ini already allocated. Now let's do allocation for the other. Which one? So tuko na material handling na AS. So the kwanza inafaa itoke huko ikuje hapa. So material handling na inspection. Then ukisha allocate, we shall get our total cost. Jika inaonekana ama nimetoka kwa laini. Matajio tutafanya. So don't worry, kama imetoka utairudisha. Sio mbaya. Hiyo ni kama ni mbaya. Hapo. So let's do allocation. So tuanze na MH. So MH 2. So 2 number 1 to mark. So to MAC. So what was the MH ilikuwa gani? Remember tulikuwa tumesema MH Tulikuwa tumesema MH ni X. 2. So tunaanza to mark. Itakuwa ngapi? Now, what is the direct allocation? 30%. So mark anachukua 30% of the amount of material handling. So material handling tusema ni X 105. So let us round off to a new figure. Make 106. So to round off. So itakuwa ni 30%, 0.3 times 106, which is 32. To round off. So hiyo anachukua 32. So tumesema ni 106. Let us use it at 106. Haya, still MH, which is X to fin. So fin anachukua ngapi? 25% of 106. Of 106. So 0.25 times 106, which is 27. Tunaweka hapo 27. Then pia material handling wa mwisho assembly. Assembly anachukua 35% of 106. So 0.35 times 106. 37. So kiasi the 3 inafaa kupatia 106. Hiyo tumeallocate. Jaribu uone kama itakupatia at least hiyo. So si lazima ifike kabisa, at least 32 plus 7 times inakuja ngapi? That one is for mark. Sorry. Haikujangi exactly amount. Hii form inajuanga haikujangi exact. So let us go to the next. Now tunaenda kwa nani? So haikujangi exact kwa sababu ya 10%. 10% imekuwa shared about between X and Y hapo katikati. So let's see. IS, which ilikuwa ni Y to mark ni ngapi? 20% of yake ilikuwa ngapi? Hatukupata Y. Ndio hii 55. So 0.2 times 55 ni 11 hapo. Then Y to fin 30% of 55. So 0.3 times 55 is 17. And then for Y to what? To assembly 45% of 55. So 0.45 times 11 times 55, which is 25. So 11, 17, and 25. That is all about the allocation. That is all about the allocation. I think iko sawa. So add them together. That is how the allocation. That's how you do the allocation. That is how you do the allocation. So itakuwa ngapi? 400 plus 32 plus 11. Itakuwa ni 443. 200 plus 27 plus 17, which is 244. Then 100 plus 37 plus 25. That one is 160. 162. That is all about that method. So we can go to another method. That's about that method. Siko sawa? At least nikuje kwa exam, you have a clue. At least you shall have a clue. Now let's go to the next method using the same question. Tutatumia the same question to do all. So the first method tumesema ni imepotea. Simultaneous equation method, which is also called the algebraic. Step 2, I think we can go to the direct method. You can get to direct method. So direct method. Let's go to the next method here. So hii inaweza vuta. Sikwata kuvuta hiyo. Sikwata kuvuta swali yetu. So alikuwa anaitwa Mark. Na kuvuta swali yetu. P assembly na MH. Alikuwa ni 50. Alikuwa I think ni 100. Alikuwa ni 100. Alikuwa ni 400. Alikuwa ni 200. So number 2, direct method. Na kwa example kama wajakuambia which method to use, just use direct method. Direct method is the easiest method we use. So direct method, let us use direct method. Now, hii haina mambo. So what you do, tunaanza na allocation. So tuko na mark, pin, na assembly. Then tunaanza na overhead allocated. Overhead allocated. So ni 400. Mark. So hitaji working kwa sababu already iko na production. Si tuko tuko na haja ya yenye iko kwa service related kwa production. So hii already iko sawa na 100. Now we do direct now allocation. So allocation we have MH na tuko na IS. Let us do the working. So inakwanga hapo ni direct method. So that you can get the total overhead. So tuanze na the first one. Tuanze na MH to mark. So ini direct. Unasikia to the word direct. Unakuja unaangalia hapa. What's our amount? Ni 30%. Now 30% of what? Now because it's direct, 90% iko kando, itakuwa ni 30% of 90. Kwa sababu ni direct. Hatuwezi sema 30% of 100%. Kwa sababu tukisema of 100% tukiallocate kuna 10 itakuwa imemiss somewhere. So hii 10 tunaitoa kwa equation. So inakuwa ni minus 100, inakuwa ni 90. Na allocate ya gani? MH to mark. So MH to mark, which is 100. Inakuwa ni 30 over 90 times 100. So tunallocate 100. So hiyo ni 33. 33. Nakuja naweka hapa 33. Then MH to fin. Ni ngapi? 25%. 25% over 90 times 100. So 25% over 90 times 100, which is 28. So round off to our old figure, 28. Ya mwisho, material handling to assembly ni ngapi? Ndio hii hapa 35%. So 35% over 90 times the amount to allocate, to transfer, which is 38.8, which is 39, which is 39. Which is 39. Tumemalizana hiyo. Then from IS to mark. What's the percentage? 20%. So, Nick, itakuwa 20% of what? On the second one?
It will be 20% of 95.
95, yes. We ignore this part. So 95%. Times na allocating ngapi? Pinje. So 50. So we are allocating 50. So 20 over 90, 5, sorry, over 95 times 50. This one is 10.5, 10.11. Aya. Next, tukitoka kwa 20 tunaenda kwa 30. 30 over 95 times 50. So 30 over 95 times 50, which is 16. If we round off, I can go full figure. Then I'm using 45 over 95 times 50, so it's 16. Then 45 over 95 times 50. Now 20, 24. So add 400 plus 33 plus 11. So it's 444. Kwa sababu tena sasa tulikuwa tumepata ngapi? Mtua kwa simultaneous. Ama Nick.
443.
Kwa simultaneous. Hapa kwa hiyo simultaneous. Total overhead kwa simultaneous method, the other method. Tulikuwa tumepata ngapi?
443.
Tulipata ngapi? Tulipata?
443. 443.
Bana ziachana sana. Sisi zimekaribiana. Yes. Zimekaribiana.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that is the direct method. Let's go to the next method. After the direct method. So the direct method, kumbuke, you ignore the share allocation. So for direct method, you ignore the share allocation. So let us go to the next method. It is a specific method. So number 3, specific method. Or stepped. It will be a stepped or cross down. It will be a cross down or stepwise. Stepwise method. So specific method, stepped, cross down, or stepwise method. So kwa hii swali hii lazima tufanye. We need to close down. Once we close down, we use the direct method. So the first thing you need to remember, let me see. So let us try. Now sijui kama inaonekana we need to, so kwa hiyo we need to add something kwa hii format yetu. So itabaki hivyo venye iko, but we need to add something. So we need to add the two departments hapa, ilikuwa MH na IS, which is 150. Now kwa swali unaangalia the one with the highest allocation, tunaiallocate. So let us see ni gani kati mbili, so kumbe we allocating between these two, tunafaa kuziallocate zikuje side hii. So between MH and IS, which one has the highest allocation? Obviously is MH. So we allocate the MH. Tunasema na MH. Now in this case we allocate, but we don't ignore the 10%. What do we do? Tuanze na hii ya kwanza, itakuwa ni 30% of 100. So unachukua venye iko direct. So kwa sababu nataka kuonesha, so hii ni 30. Next uko na 25% of 100, which is 25. Then ya mwisho 35% of 100, which is 35. Now have you allocated all the amount? Ukichukua 30 kwa hii method plus 25 plus 35, lazima ucheck tume transfer 90, kumaanisha ngapi imebaki? Tuta transfer ngapi? So 10 is remaining. So 10 is remaining. Now this 10 we transfer it to the next. So kumaanisha balance hapa itakuwa ngapi? 50 plus 10. So tumeallocate 100 but 90. Allocate 10. So hiyo 10 iende to the next. So itakuwa 50 plus 10, which is 60. So that tuseme hii 100, acha tuweke form of 100. So hapa tumesema tumeallocate 100, but kwa kile tunajua 10 imeenda mbele. So ukichukua 30 plus 25 plus 35 inafaa iwe 90. Lakini sisi hapa tumeandika, tumetoa 100 minus 100 ni 0. Mimi tumeallocate 100. Lakini kwa kile tunajua hiyo 10 ilikuwa imebaki, tumeipeleka mbele, so ni 50 plus 10, 60. Now the next part, use direct method. So in that next part you use direct method. Now kutoka hapo na use direct method. So tunasema IS ni ngapi? 20% of 20 over 95 times 60. So tunatumia direct method. Ya pili 30%, 30 over 95 times 60, ni ya mwisho 45 over 90 times 60. So ni 20 over 95 times 60, which is 12 points, which is 13. Make up for 13. And next 30, which is 20. This one is 20. And then next 45 over 95 times 60. 28. Unaweka hapo 28. And then hapo nasema tumeallocate. So ni 0. Balance ni 0. So imeisha. So there's nothing tunaleta huku kwa sababu tumeweka now direct method. So yote 60. So we can add them together. Itakuwa ni 400 plus 30 plus 13. 443. Then 200 plus 25 plus 20, 245. then 100 plus 35 plus 28, 163. So that's how you do the specific method. Now tufanya mwisho, and this one will be the end of our of secondary method. The other one is called continuous method. Continuous method. Ama inaitwa pia continuous of distribution. Distribution method. Because you can also call it sequential method or sequential method. So continuous or distribution method or sequential method. Now in this case, we allocate the amount until it becomes insignificant. So we allocate the amount until it becomes insignificant. Now allow me to wrap this one. So you shall allow me to wrap this one. So we shall go back to our question. Tutatumia venye iko. So this is the format vile iko. Ama nivute niweke vizuri. Acha nivute niweke vizuri. Kai yenye inaonekana. Nimesqueeze sana. Tutasema iko continuous or sequential or distribution. So tunaanza na details. So the first detail is the overhead allocated. Tunaanza na kulikuwa na mark. Where is it? Then tukakuwa na fin assembly, then material handling, then I'm sure I think ilikuwa inspection. This one is 400, 200, 100. So tuko tena na mbili. So you are supposed to transfer this 150 using the direct method. So we do allocation. So hapo tunaanza na MH. So MH na kwa hii swali tunatumia the direct allocation. Not direct. Tunatumia the indirect allocation in this manner. Sorry, ni nani umepotea? So ile itakuwa ya mwisho. Ilikuwa ya May 2021. So tunaenda pale chini kwa allocation. So 30%. So naweka direct. So hii inakuwa tu nikiwaambia kwa sababu ni mrefu. So unachukua 30%, so tuanze na MH. 30% of 100. So 30% of 100 ndio ya kwanza. Ni 30. Haya. Then tukitoka kwa 30, tunaenda kwa 25% of 100, which is 25. Then tunaenda kwa 35% of 100. Ngapi? 35. Now we need to allocate all the 100. But kwa mind yetu tunajua tujiallocate yote. Kuchukua 30 plus 25 plus 35 ni 90. Kumaanisha kuna 10 imebaki. Tuipeleka mbele as 60. Hadi hapo tuko sawa. So we have allocated this 100 totally. Tunaenda kwa S. So tuna allocate until the amount becomes insignificant. So 20%, tunaenda kwa next 20% of 60. 20% of 60. So 20% of 60 ni 12. Tukitoka kwa 20%, tunaenda kwa 30% of 60 ni 18. Haya, tunaenda kwa 45. 45% times 60 ni 27. So tumeallocate ngapi? So hapa tunasema tunajibia kwa kichwa, let us allocate all the 60. But tunajua kuna imebaki, tunaleta hapa mbele. So 12 plus 18 plus 27. Tumeallocate 57. Ngapi ilibaki? 3. So tumeallocate 57. So hapa tunasema tumeallocate 60, but remember tatu tujaallocate, tumeipeleka hapa next. Now we allocate the 3 using MH until the amount becomes insignificant. So itakuwa ni 30. Tukuweke hapa 30% times 3 ni 0.9. Then 25% times 3 itakuwa ngapi? Itakuwa ni 0.75. Then ya mwisho Nick,
Yes. Yes.
fikiri nilipotea saa ngapi?
A few sahi tu. A few minutes ago. Sahi tu. Like a minute ago.
Juu nimeona ni kama haiko. Sasa iko
Sahi iko.
sawa. Now nilikuwa nasema we allocate. So hapa hivi uliona vile ni allocate. Hii the first one and the
Yes.
second one.
Yeah,
Sawa.
yes, yes.
So under this method we allocate until the amount becomes insignificant. So nilikuwa nakuuliza 0.3. Is it significant or insignificant?
Insignificant.
Yes, so that it becomes the end. So we add the rest. So we have allocated all the cost back to mark fin and assembly. So hii imeshaisha. So tumeallocate kila kitu. So we add them together. And that will be the end of allocation method. So 400 plus 30 plus 12 plus 0.9. That will be equal to 442.9. Then again 200 plus 25 plus 18 plus 0.75. 243. 243.75. Then 100 plus 35 plus 27 plus 1.05. 163.05. So that will mark the end of our question today. So that will mark the end of our question today. So that marks the end of our question today. Now, so go and check this one. Hapo mtaniambia kuna this particular question I want you to check. One of them is ABC. Do you know how to do ABC? ABC, accounting based costing.
A bit of it.
And then we have this the question for me 2021. We have question for number 2C. Inaitwa number 1C. Inaitwa marginal costing. Application of marginal costing. Marginal costing application. And this one is the limiting factor. So do you know how to do the question of limiting factor? Or so limiting factor?
No.
So that one is no. So we meet next class. We do marginal costing application. That one will be on Sunday. Marginal costing application. Just some questions. That will be fine, Silvio.
Sawa.
So let us meet on Sunday. I hope you know how to do the question for D4, P4, weighted average method. And the material costing and not process costing. Remember, not under process costing, but under material costing. So do you know how to prepare those schedules?
Yes.
So we shall do the marginal application. And this one will be the end of our revision. I think we have done the most important part. I think that one will be okay. Let us meet on Sunday.